What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Ghost checking in. We're going to talk to the machine, Malcolm Wellmaker here, who I know it's been a while, but man, you have made a splash into the UFC. Your last fight was a big win over Chris Moutinho. Man, doesn't it make the summer a lot more chill, right? Getting a couple dubs in
Right.
2025. You get to relax and see what the fall's got coming up next. But kind of nice to have the summer off a little bit.
Yeah, it's been cool, man. To have two fights, so close to each other and kick off my summer how it's been good. So I've been enjoying the hot weather, but I've been enjoying the weather, kind of kicking back a little bit, watching the other teammates get in the competition, and it's nice.
And you got what you wanted too. You asked for it. Fighters speak up. They get what a lot of times they got what they want. You got to fight in front of a Atlanta crowd near your home city. And what was that like for you? I imagine friends, family, lots came out to support.
Yeah, man. Not just speaking from my own experience, but a lot of the people that was there, man, they told me it felt like the main event. Like when I was in the tunnel and they pulled the curtain and did my 10-second countdown, there was like fans on the handrail shaking it like Malcolm, like you know what I mean. It was crazy, and from that moment, like my energy just was through the roof. It was incredible. It was so fun. I went out there. I almost lost my breath jumping up and down to the music, and went out there and put on one of the best performances of my life.
So let me just follow up a little bit on that. Do you think the UFC brass noticed that and maybe, just kept it in the back of their head like, hey, this guy registers with the crowd. Like, we got ourselves a project here, a rising star.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they didn't. They've been in the business longer than I have, and I think they know how to spot somebody that has a little bit of star potential. So hopefully, they seeing the way that I enjoy the energy of the crowd, the way I feed off of it, and I honestly feel like I perform better under the lights when I have that energy behind me.
And think about it. One summer ago, so a year ago, you're prepping for Dana White Contender Series. How the tide has turned. Now you're a two-time UFC vet. And do you remember what it was last year? What kind of nerves did you have leading up to Dana White Contender Series, which kicks off soon here? We'll talk about this upcoming card here.
Yeah, for some reason I didn't have a ton of nerves going into the Contender Series. I did feel the weight of what was at stake, but as far as nervousness, I didn't feel it. Like I feel like I felt more like locked in tunnel vision, like killer mindset, like I'm going in here to get the job done versus like, the fights with the crowds, I had a little bit more nerves because of the stadium and stuff, but Contender Series, man, I was trying to change my life, man.
And did you think it could lead to what you experienced, KC, Atlanta? Were you thinking of that about a year ago or not yet?
No, absolutely not. I 100% thought I was going back to the Apex, at least my next fight.
Yeah.
And a lot of the opportunities my manager was shooting for before April, because I had kind of a long layoff between my Contender Series and my debut. Most
Hmm.
of those cards were Apex cards, and I had no problem with it. But when he called me and he told me he got me in front of a crowd, like I was excited, but I didn't really understand how it was going to impact my career until, after I did it. And man, I'm glad that's the route we took.
Folks, Dana White Contender Series is coming up again, and it
Hmm.
starts on Tuesday, August 12th on ESPN Plus. You know the deal. There's it's a fight card, and you go in kind of like with a fresh lease on life per se. In that Dana White, the president, doesn't know much about you. He just wants to see cats perform. And Malcolm, what would be your best advice to any of these fighters that are starting to line up? They're starting to fill up this card, whether they're 9-1, 10-0, 7-2. What's the best advice other than, obviously you try and make weight, or you make weight and you
Hmm.
try and win, but there's got to be a secret formula in there as well.
You know, it's crazy, but for me, I think one of the biggest things that helped me get my mind in the right place was when I went out to do my pre-fight shoot, where we did, media and interviews, and you get to go to, the Apex for the first time. You get to meet a bunch of people in the organization. That like let me know the gravity of what I was capable of being involved in, like the organization I had a job interview for. So I think one of the biggest things is, be present in those few days they fly you out to Vegas to do that, and let that drive you through your camp. Train as hard and safely as you can. And when you go out there, man, look for the finish. You know what I mean? It's so many guys who go out there and they don't fight to win the fight. They fight to finish. And if they don't get it, they go to war. And Dana loves it. Dana still gives those contracts, man. So, train your heart out. Enjoy the pre-shoot and meeting the guys in the organization. But when you fight, man, fight to finish, and leave it all out there.
Our guest is Malcolm Wellmaker. Goes, what do you have for the machine?
Malcolm, so for the longest time, the guys that would come off of the Ultimate Fighter, they've kind of formed like a little bit of a fraternity when they would run into each other. What was your season like? That sort of stuff. Do you feel like Dana White's Contender Series will always kind of have a attachment to you? You sort of represent them in a way?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love those little blue gloves I got. You know what I mean? That's like the only piece of like fight memorabilia I hold super tight to me. That Contender Series shot is just so crazy, man. Being put in a position where you win this fight, you can change your life is outrageous. It's incredible to see the little 60-second special they put together to tell your story and show the world, man. The Contender Series is amazing. I love that that Dana White and the UFC do it. And man, yeah, it's great, man. I'm glad I went through it.
So you're saying I'm not getting the glove for back here?
Not that one. You might can get one of the UFC ones before you get that Contender Series one.
Hey, so tell us a little bit about just your fighting style and your fighting career itself. We talk about progression and some of the fighters coming off of Dana White's Contender Series. You have the best case scenario. I mean, you're dispatching of people very quickly, but at the same time, you're growing. Does part of you ever kind of wish these fights went a little bit longer just to kind of get a little bit more action in that cage?
No. To be honest, the shorter the better. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make my money and get out of there. To be real, I've had a couple challenging fights on the regional scene before I got to the UFC. Obviously, those guys are not UFC level, but I got the test as far as my heart, as far as my psyche. I know where the holes are in my game that I needed to develop, and it was a long time ago that we started focusing on those areas. Obviously, my strengths are in my striking, but I focus very hard on my cardio, my endurance, my ability to wrestle, my ability to grapple, not get caught. We work on all those things. So when that opportunity does come that I do have to fight a little bit longer in the cage, I'll be ready for it.
Take us back to the day that you fought on Dana White's Contender Series. Like, obviously, if we were to compare it to what you went through, in big shows, of course, the crowd, that's the main thing that stands out. But what were kind of the differences in your mentality, your feelings going in, and how have you grown as a fighter since then?
Yeah, when I went on the Contender Series, it was all, win this fight. You know what I mean? Get this guy out of there. And when I obviously did my film study, it was all about Adam Bramhall. When I went to compete, it was all about Adam Bramhall. That whole trip, everything was about Adam Bramhall. And it's not that, when I go into these fights, my focus is not on the person that I'm fighting. But like I have a long-term mission at hand. The mission back then was just get signed. But now, I want to get in this organization. I want to make a name for myself. I want to achieve a rank and eventually fight for a belt. And I want to make as much money as I can. So all of these performances are really just stepping stones in the bigger picture of what I want to accomplish in this organization.
You've done pretty good. Like George mentioned, your little wish list where you say, this is where I'd like to fight. This is what I'd like to do. They listened. And since then, it's been pretty good. You got another wish list you want to share?
I'm not super tied to anything. You know what I mean? I heard a couple rumors about possibly making it to the 320 card in October. That would be incredible. If I could get on that undercard, man, oh man, it would be amazing. And I keep hearing the Taporia name tossed around too. I'm not gonna lie, the more I hear it, the more excited about it I get. I think that's way too amazing of a dream come true to be able to fight, Taporia in October. But if that happened, man, that'd be incredible.
Take it easy, Malcolm. we got steps to get to. Give us one other name. Not. I don't want to like pour cold water on your dreams or anything, but
Yeah.
you know, that guy's a hot commodity right now, and
Yeah.
so give us another name maybe that is a little more realistic.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't have too many people personally that I prefer to fight. I mean, I see like Ricky Simon name gets tossed around. I've seen Adrian Yanez name get tossed around. I don't think Peyton
Okay.
Talbot will happen anytime soon because he's also such a big prospect, with such potential in front of him. But any of those guys, man, I would love to fight any of them, man. I think I'd have a good time.
So a pop quiz real quick. This is season 9 that's coming up, folks, starting on August 12th. It's a Tuesday. It's every Tuesday. They start at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Five fights, and they move quick. It all happens in 2 hours. It's awesome. Can you name 2 champs that have come out of Dana White Contender Series?
I know Jamal Hill and Sean O'Malley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you think's your competition? Do you know the season 8 alumni like yourself? Who might be your competition to win a strap out of that season?
I know one of the biggest, hottest prospects that came off of it, also signed to Iridium, was Austin Bashi, which he got detoured by C-Rod, which was crazy. It wasn't crazy because C-Rod's legit, bro. But they gave him a real test. But he's actually got a fight coming up soon, and he even helped Diego Lopez get prepped for bulk. Like Austin Bashi is training at the highest levels. I think he's still as good as everybody expected him to be. He just got a little bit of a welcome to the UFC by C-Rod. So I'm excited to see his next fight, and I think that if things go the way that they're supposed to go, if he developed like he was supposed to after that loss, I think he very well could accomplish some great things in the future.
I think those heavyweights were looking like, they had gotten some big fights. Allison Teixeira, Rizvan Kuniev, but they got checked. I think Islam Dulatov and you are a 2-horse race to possibly be a world champ coming out of season 8. He looked pretty good in his last fight too.
Yeah, man. Just the fact that you even throw my name in there is pretty incredible, man. I appreciate it. But I believe it too, man. I think I got what it takes. I think my career is moving in the right direction at the right pace. And, we take these matchups the right way. We keep getting these finishes. I could very well be in that discussion.
Were the nerves the same in Kansas City and Atlanta as they were when you were basically auditioning for a job on Dana White Contender Series about a year ago?
No, man. It's crazy. When I went to fight for Contender Series, man, I had like this really tunnel vision, like this real killer mentality. Like I was just going into like this murderous mindset. Versus Kansas City and Atlanta, it was much more nerves because the stadium, the crowd, just the pressure of it feeling like a real fight night. And for Dana White's Contender Series, I didn't feel like it was like that show kind of feeling that I feel when I'm on the regional scenes or when I'm at these stadiums. It felt like you have a job interview and you either are going to pass or fail. And I felt the pressure of the moment, but it just wasn't nerves, man. I was so locked in, man, and I was willing to kill for that contract.
Will you be throughout the season in the corner of anyone that's lined up for this season? You don't have to give us a name if it hasn't been made official, but I'm just wondering because now that I think about it, I think a good cornerman or corner woman would be someone who's actually done that same walk.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I got a couple teammates actually that signed to the same management, but we just barely missed the window with one of them. So hopefully next season y'all will see me in the corner and maybe even the season after that as well.
All right, but first things first, you got probably another fight, maybe 2. I don't know. In 2025, you're off to a great start in your career. 10-0 overall, 2-0 in the proper UFC. Of course, you're part of season 8 Contender Series. Got to win there as well. And the Moutinho fight, Chris Moutinho. Yes, hopefully I said that right. You did your job there, man. You really, really put one on him. But hey, it's always great to catch up with you.
Thank you.
And I wish you the best, man. Hopefully, maybe you become a champion out of that season. A lot of talent was signed last season, and I think you can be possibly a belt holder in the future. You seem to tick all the boxes, brother.
Thank you so much, man. And it's crazy because I really feel like y'all just barely have seen what I can do. You know what I mean? If I get locked in there with a Taporia, y'all might see it. But until then, I'm gonna try to keep.
What's funny is you threw it into the existence. I know. I'm sorry that I kind of swatted it a little bit. But it's true. We might circle back to an interview like this and go, "Holy shit! Put a pie in my face." Yeah. You called it, you know,
I think it might be more down the line, but I won't count it out, man.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Like 2026, 2027, but October 2025. Relax, right. just get a couple tickets to the event. Enjoy it. All right, my man. Good talking to you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all so much, man. Appreciate y'all having me, man.